My dear brother, my dear sister, before you continue your day, before you scroll, before your mind runs to the next thing, just stay with me for a moment, because something has been happening in your life that you still haven't understood, and the answer to it is hidden in what I'm about to say. You've been feeling this strange heaviness, haven't you? A heaviness you can't explain to anyone, a heaviness you keep hiding behind a smile, a heaviness that hits you the most when the world becomes quiet and your heart starts talking. You've been wondering why Allah broke your heart. Right at the moment you were finally starting to feel okay again. You've been wondering why the people you trusted the most were removed so suddenly, why your plans collapsed right when you were ready, why doors opened beautifully only to shut painfully, why something that looked like a blessing ended up breaking you first. You kept asking Allah, why me? Why now? Why this much pain? Why did you take away what I begged you to protect? And you never got the answer. But listen closely, because what I'm about to tell you is not a quote, not a reminder, not a cliche. It is the answer your heart has been waiting years to hear. What if the breaking you went through was not a punishment, but the beginning of a blessing, so big, so heavy, so life-changing, that the version of you back then could never carry it? What if the very moment you called the worst moment of my life was actually the exact moment Allah started rewriting your destiny? What if the pain you hate is the tool Allah is using to shape the person who will finally walk into the blessing you cried for in sujood? My dear heart, you didn't click this video randomly. You were brought here because Allah wants you to understand something that will not only heal your past, but prepare your future. There is a reason your life slowed down. There is a reason people disappeared. There is a reason you feel disconnected. There is a reason you feel lost, even when everything looks normal on the outside. There is a reason your soul feels restless, deep inside your chest. Something is changing, something big, something divine, something written for you, long before you were born. And that change began the moment Allah broke you. But here's the part no one told you. He didn't break you to weaken you. He broke you to rebuild you, to upgrade you, to turn you into the version of yourself that is finally ready for what He has been saving for you. Don't scroll. Don't click away. Don't think this is just another video, because if you stay until the end of this message, you will finally understand why Allah had to break you before He blessed you. And once you understand this truth, you will never look at your pain the same way again. Stay with me. Your entire story is about to make sense. The breaking you didn't understand. My dear brother, my dear sister, come close for a moment. Let your heart listen, not just your ears. You've been carrying a question inside you for so long. A quiet question that you never say out loud, but it lives in your chest every night. If this thing was meant to be good for me, why did it hurt me so much? Why did it break me before it blessed me? You look back at your life, and you see a moment that was supposed to bring joy, but instead it brought pain. A relationship you thought would bring peace, but it brought heartbreak. An opportunity you thought would lift you, but it knocked you down. A dream you prayed for, But when it came close, it shattered, and somewhere inside you, you whispered to yourself, "Did I do something wrong? Did Allah not want this for me? Did I misunderstand the blessing?" But listen carefully. Sometimes Allah allows something to break before it becomes beautiful. Sometimes He lets the pain come first, so your heart becomes ready to protect the gift when it finally arrives. You see, my dear soul, not every version of you is strong enough or wise enough to hold the blessing Allah has written. There is an older version of you, a version you may not even notice, the version that reacts quickly, that trusts too easily, that loves without boundaries, that hopes without wisdom, that gives without guarding your heart. And if Allah gave you the blessing, while that old version still existed, you would lose the blessing just as fast as you received it. So Allah, in His mercy, not in anger, breaks the parts of you that would destroy what's coming. He breaks your impatience, so you don't rush what needs time. He breaks your pride, so you don't misuse what He gives you. He breaks your dependence on people, so you don't attach to the wrong heart again. He breaks your illusions, so you stop expecting peace from places that only bring pain. Allah doesn't break you to hurt you. He breaks what would hurt you later. He breaks the version of you that would mishandle the blessing. He removes the ego, the stubbornness, the naivety, the old expectations, the emotional weakness, the unhealthy attachments, because these parts of you cannot walk into the future Allah wrote. And maybe you didn't understand it then. Maybe you cried and asked, "Why me? Why now? Why this pain? Why this loss?" But one day, you will see the wisdom. Allah was not destroying your life. He was rebuilding your heart. He was making space for something that requires a stronger you. He was preparing your soul for a blessing that is bigger than your past, deeper than your wounds, and heavier than anything you've carried before. And to carry something heavy, you must first be strengthened. To hold something precious, your hands must first be steady. To receive something sacred, your heart must first be purified. So yes, it hurt. Yes, it broke you. Yes, it felt unfair. But it was necessary, because Allah does not destroy the believer. He destroys the version of the believer that would ruin the blessing. And the version of you that is being shaped today is the version that will be ready tomorrow to receive what is coming with honor, strength, and wisdom. Allah breaks the parts of you that would fail later. You may not know this, but Allah was never trying to break you. He was breaking the pieces inside you that would have destroyed you later. There are moments in life when you think everything is falling apart, but in reality, Allah is pulling apart only the weak parts, so they don't collapse when the real blessing arrives. Sometimes the things inside you that you are most attached to, your expectations, your fears, your pride, your old habits, your need for people, are the very things that would make you lose the blessing once you receive it. So Allah, in His wisdom, breaks them before they break you. He breaks your impatience, because the blessing you're praying for won't come to someone who rushes destiny. It needs calmness. It needs sabr. It needs a heart that understands that what is written for you cannot be taken by anyone else. He breaks your ego, because your blessing requires humility. If pride stayed inside you, the gift would turn into a test. You would think you earned it by yourself and forget the one who gave it to you. He breaks your dependence on people, because if your heart stays attached to the wrong person, you will give them credit for something only Allah planned for you. You will lean on them when Allah wants you to lean on Him. He breaks your comfort zone because your next chapter requires a stronger version of you, a version that can handle pressure, handle responsibility, handle tests, handle delays, handle blessings without losing yourself. He breaks your unhealthy attachments, even though it hurts deeply, because some people you love would destroy your peace later. Some friendships you cling to would betray you at the moment you rise. Some habits you enjoy would pull you back. When Allah is trying to take you forward, you cried when they left, but Allah knew you would cry harder if they had stayed. You felt pain when the door closed, but Allah knew you would collapse if you walked through that door with your heart still carrying the things He wanted to free you from. And sometimes Allah breaks your plans because your plans were too small, too temporary, too shallow, too dependent on the world, too far away from the greatness He wanted to give you. The breaking you experienced was not a punishment. It was a surgery, a spiritual operation where Allah removed the parts of you that could not walk into the future He is preparing. Think about it. A surgeon cuts to save. He causes pain, not to harm you, but to remove what will harm you later. Allah does the same. He breaks the impatience, so you become someone who waits with faith. He breaks the pride, so you become someone who bows with humility. He breaks the attachment, so you become someone who loves without losing yourself. He breaks the old dreams, so He can give you a dream that actually leads to your purpose. And even though you didn't understand it then, your heart felt something, a strange mix of pain and protection. You didn't know which one was happening, but now you see. It was mercy in disguise, because Allah will never allow you to enter a blessing with a heart that will sabotage it. He will never allow you to meet the right person while you are still carrying wounds that will hurt them. He will never let you step into your new life while your old habits are waiting to pull you back. He breaks what is weak so He can rebuild what is strong. He removes what is temporary to make space for what is written. He disconnects you from what distracts to connect you to what elevates. And every time you thought, "I'm losing everything," you were actually losing only the parts of you that would have failed later. Allah protects you before He blesses you. He prepares your heart before He opens the door. He removes what will collapse before He builds what will last. And every painful moment you survived was simply Allah whispering to your soul, "You will not fail. Not under my watch." The blessing needed a better version of you. There comes a point in every believer's life where you look at yourself in the mirror and you don't recognize the person staring back. You feel different. You feel quieter. You feel more tired, more aware, more sensitive, more awake. And you wonder, when did I become like this? When did Allah change me? Why do I feel like a different person? It happened during the breaking. It happened in the moments you thought you were falling apart. You thought the pain was ruining you, but the truth is, Allah was removing the parts of you that were not meant to enter your future. He was breaking the version of you that would fail later. There was a version of you that trusted too quickly, that forgave too easily without boundaries, that loved people more than they deserved, that believed every promise, that kept giving chances to hearts that were never sincere. Allah had to break that version so people could no longer use your kindness as a weakness. There was a version of you that depended on others to feel seen, to feel loved, to feel important. Allah broke that version so your heart would stop bowing to people who did not value you. There was a version of you that always stayed silent, even when your soul was screaming inside. You held pain in your chest because you wanted to keep the peace. But Allah knew that silence would destroy you one day. So He broke that version to teach you how to speak, how to walk away, how to protect your dignity, how to honor your worth. There was a version of you that chased people, that begged for attention, that waited for a message, that hoped someone would finally understand you. Allah broke that version so you would finally see that the heart you were chasing was never meant for you. He broke the hope you placed in people so you could place your hope in Him alone. There was a version of you that loved your plans more than His plans. You held on to dreams that were not written for your soul. Allah broke that version so you would stop building a life on foundations that were too weak to hold the blessing He prepared. There was a version of you that moved through life too fast, never resting, never breathing, never noticing the signs Allah gave. So He slowed you down, He paused your life, He delayed your progress, so you could finally see what He was trying to show you. There was a version of you that tolerated disrespect because you didn't want to lose people. So Allah made you lose them, not to hurt you, but to show you they were never yours to begin with. He broke the part of you that accepted things your future self would never allow. There was a version of you that carried guilt, shame, wounds from your past, old mistakes that kept whispering, "You're not good enough." Allah broke that version because your future cannot be built on shame. He removed the identity that pain gave you so He could rebuild the identity that destiny requires. And you know what's the most beautiful part? You never asked Allah to break that version. You only asked Him for a blessing. You only made dua for a better life. You only said, "Ya Allah, change my situation." So Allah changed you first, because nothing changes around you until something changes inside you. That breaking you felt was the answer to your prayers. The nights you cried were the nights Allah was rewriting your destiny. The friendships you lost were the walls Allah removed so your blessing could walk toward you. The hope that collapsed was the space Allah emptied for a better hope to enter. The life that fell apart was the life Allah had to end so your new life could begin. And even now, you may still feel the heaviness of who you used to be. Memories pull you back. Voices from your past echo in your mind. Old fears try to rise again, but you are not the same person anymore. Allah made sure of that. He broke the version of you that was fragile so He could build a version that is unshakable. He broke the version of you that was naive so He could build a version that sees with clarity. He broke the version of you That was emotional, so he could build a version that is spiritually grounded. He broke the version of you that was easily hurt, so he could build a version that can handle the weight of the blessing coming your way. You didn't lose your old self. You outgrew it, and Allah is preparing you for a future that your past self could never survive. The pain that built your strength. There is a moment in every believer's journey when you look around and realize everything feels quiet, too quiet. People are distant. Life feels paused. Your soul feels heavier than usual, and you don't understand why. This silence in your life, it's not empty. It's not a punishment. It's not a sign that Allah has left you. This silence is the place where Allah begins building the version of you that you were always meant to become, because Allah does not build strength in loud moments. He builds strength in silence, in stillness, in the unseen, and you don't even notice it happening until one day you look back and realize that the quiet moments were the moments that shaped you the most. You thought nothing was changing, but everything was. You thought you were standing still, but you were being rebuilt. You thought you were losing time, but Allah was preparing your timing. You thought the world was moving forward without you, but Allah was moving you towards something the world can't see yet. This quiet chapter of your life was not wasted time. It was construction. It was a spiritual workshop where Allah was repairing your heart in ways you never understood. In this silence, Allah teaches you how to breathe again, how to think clearly again, how to love yourself again, how to stop depending on people who were only meant to be temporary. This silence is where Allah removes the noise that kept distracting your heart, the noise of people's opinions, the noise of your past mistakes, the noise of old fears, the noise of old disappointments that repeated themselves in your mind over and over again. Allah quiets everything so you can finally hear what your soul has been trying to say. You deserve peace. You deserve clarity. You deserve better. In this silence, Allah pulls you away from people who drain you so you can feel the difference between real peace and fake companionship. You start realizing that being alone with Allah feels safer than being surrounded by people who don't value your heart. This silence is where Allah heals the wounds no one knew you had, the wounds you hid behind a smile, the wounds you carried for years because you didn't know how to let them go, the wounds you were too afraid to confront because you thought they defined you. Allah touches those wounds in silence because He knows that healing in front of others sometimes hurts more than the wound itself, but healing in private, that is mercy, that is softness, that is Allah saying, I see you, let me fix what life broke. And sometimes this silence feels like loneliness, but in reality, it's protection. Allah separates you from the noise of the world, so the world stops shaping you, and He starts shaping you instead. You think no one checks on you, but Allah checks on you every morning, when He wakes you up, every night, when He lets your heart beat, despite the stress you carry, every tear He catches in the dark that no one knows about. In this silence, Allah teaches you how to walk again without needing anyone to hold your hand. He teaches you how to stand on your own feet without collapsing. When people leave, He teaches you how to depend on Him in ways you never did before. He teaches you how to love in a healthier way, how to dream in a higher way, how to forgive in a stronger way. And when life is quiet, He teaches you how to hear His signs in the smallest details. A peaceful breeze, a sudden thought, a moment of clarity, a dua that suddenly feels real again, a verse that feels like it was written for your situation. All of these are signs that your silence is not empty. It is full of Allah's attention. This silence is where Allah opens your heart to understand something you were too busy to notice before, that your worth was never in people, never in achievements, never in your past, never in your mistakes. Your worth was always with Allah, and He is restoring that worth in the quiet. One day, you will look back at this silent chapter with tears in your eyes, and you will whisper, "This is where Allah healed me. This is where I learned my real strength. This is where I found myself again." Because silence was not a pause in your story. It was the chapter where Allah prepared you for everything that is coming next. Allah breaks you only to raise you higher. When you feel like your whole world has fallen apart, moments when what you loved most slipped away, when what you prayed for crumbled, when what you thought was your future suddenly became your past, and you sit there asking yourself, how did it all change so fast? Why did the things that were supposed to carry me end up breaking me? Why did the people I trusted leave me at the moment I needed them most? But listen deeply. The part of your life that broke you was the same part that pushed you into the strongest version of yourself. The pain you thought would destroy you was actually the turning point that saved you. Sometimes Allah allows your heart to break, not because He wants you to suffer, but because He wants you to return to the version of you that knows how to rise again. There are blessings hidden inside pain that you cannot receive while your life is comfortable. So Allah shakes your world to show you a side of yourself you would have never discovered on your own. Think about it. The strongest trees are the ones that survived the storm. The strongest hearts are the ones that survived the breaking. Your pain was not random. Your tears were not wasted. Your breakdown was not the end. It was the beginning of the person Allah is shaping you to become. There was a moment when you thought you wouldn't survive, when the weight on your chest felt too heavy, when waking up in the morning felt like a battle, when the future looked blank and the past felt unbearable. But you survived, even when you didn't know how, even when you didn't see hope, even when no one understood your pain or asked if you were okay. You survived because Allah carried you through nights you didn't have strength for. He gave you breath when your heart felt numb. He put light inside your chest when your world felt dark. And that survival was not a small thing. It was a sign that your story was not ending. It was turning. The thing that broke you forced you to grow in ways comfort never could. It taught you who is real and who was only around because they needed you. It taught you that peace cannot be found in people who only visit your life when it's convenient for them. It taught you that real strength is built when no one is watching. It taught you how to rely on Allah in a way you never did before. Sometimes what breaks you opens your eyes. It makes you see the truth you were avoiding. It makes you let go of what you were forcing. It makes you stop chasing what was draining you. It makes you realize that being alone with Allah is better than being surrounded by people who don't value your heart. You thought you lost everything, but what you really lost was everything that was holding you back. Allah removed the people who were blocking your growth. He removed the opportunities that would have harmed you later. He removed the comfort that was keeping you small. He removed the attachments that were keeping you blind. He removed the illusions that made you settle for less than what your soul deserves. And when you look back one day, you will whisper to yourself, I would have never become this strong if that pain never happened. I would have never found my truth if Allah didn't close those doors. I would have never met the blessing Allah saved for me if He didn't take away the things I was begging Him to fix. Your breaking was not the end of you. It was the end of the version of you that could not carry the future. Allah wrote the part of your life that you thought ruined you actually rebuilt you. The person who hurt you taught you what real love is not. The loss that broke you taught you what real faith looks like. The silence that scared you taught you how to hear Allah in ways you never did before. You didn't break for nothing. Allah turned your pain into a doorway into wisdom, into patience, into strength, into clarity, into a new kind of peace that doesn't depend on people. One day, you will look back and realize that the moment you fell apart was the moment Allah began putting you together in a better way. Your pain was your turning point. Your breaking was the beginning of your rising. Your loss was the path to your blessing. You just couldn't see it yet. The blessing will heal the same place that hurt. You are not falling behind. It only feels that way because Allah is carrying you through a chapter of your life that you were never meant to walk alone. You think you're slow. You think you're late. You think you're stuck. You think everyone else is moving ahead while you're standing still. But listen closely. The believer who moves slower with Allah is still further ahead than the one who runs without Him. You are not behind. You are being carried. And being carried by Allah sometimes feels like stillness. It feels like isolation. It feels like heaviness. It feels like you're not progressing, not changing, not growing. But the truth is, your soul is growing faster than your eyes can see. Allah's timing is not your timing, and His route for you is not the route others take. Some people rise in daylight, but souls like yours rise in darkness, in silence, in private, in heartbreak, in patience, in late night sujud, when the world is asleep and only Allah is watching. You don't see the progress because Allah hides it from you until the right moment. Just like a seed grows under the soil where no one can see it, your heart is growing in places that are hidden from the world. Your delay is not a delay. It is divine precision. Allah is not making you wait to frustrate you. He is making you wait. So when the blessing arrives, you meet it in the right state, with the right heart, the right strength, the right wisdom, the right maturity, and the right version of yourself. If Allah gave you what you're praying for a little too early, you would lose it. If He gave it a little too late, you would break. So He gives it at the exact moment. Your soul can handle it. You feel tired because Allah is lifting burdens that were never yours to carry. You feel lonely because Allah is removing voices that would confuse your path. You feel weak because Allah is softening the heart that He plans to strengthen later. You feel disconnected because Allah is disconnecting you from the things that no longer serve your future. You think this chapter is slow, but Allah is doing more for you right now than He did in the years you thought you were moving fast. You are not falling behind. You are being prepared for a blessing that is bigger than your plans, prepared for a future that is greater than your expectations, prepared for a life your old self never imagined, prepared for relationships that will honor you the way you always deserved, prepared for opportunities that require the upgraded version of your soul. Everything you feel right now, the heaviness, the confusion, the silence, the stillness, is a sign that Allah is working on you, working around you, and working for you. Think about it. When a mother carries her child, the child feels no movement, no running, no rushing. From the outside, the child looks still, but the child is being transported in the safest, softest way possible. That is you right now. You are being carried through a phase you were too fragile to walk through. And when Allah carries you, you don't always notice the journey. You just arrive. One day soon, you will take a step forward and realize Allah has already moved you miles ahead of where you once stood. One day, you will look back and smile through your tears because you will finally understand that the slow season of your life was actually the season where Allah brought you closest to Him. You are not behind. You are not losing. You are not forgotten. You are being held, guided, protected, elevated, and carried in ways your heart cannot yet comprehend. And when Allah puts you down, after carrying you through this storm, you will stand stronger than you have ever stood in your life. You will look back and thank Allah for the breaking. There is something sacred Allah does before every major blessing in your life. It separates you, not to punish you, but to prepare you, not to isolate you, but to elevate you, not to weaken you, but to strengthen the parts of you that you have ignored for years. Before Allah reveals who you are becoming, He removes the people who cannot go where you're destined to rise. You noticed it, didn't you? People you thought would stay forever suddenly became distant. Connections that felt unbreakable began to fade. Relationships that once felt right started to feel heavy on your soul. Friendships you used to hold on to began slipping through your fingers, no matter how tightly you tried to hold. And you thought you were losing, but in reality, you were being protected. Allah removes people, not just because they are bad, but because their energy, their mindset, their intentions, their spiritual state cannot stand beside the version of you that Allah is creating. Some people were meant for your past, but not your destiny. Some hearts were meant to walk with you for a chapter, but not for the entire book. Some souls were meant to teach you a lesson, but not meant to stay, to witness your rising. Allah knows who will support your blessing and who will sabotage it. He knows who will honor you and who will envy you. He knows who will pray for your success and who will pray for your downfall. So before the blessing arrives, He removes anyone who will not celebrate the moment you finally bloom. And yes, that removal hurts, sometimes more than the betrayal itself, because it is not just the person you lose, it is the dreams you had with them, the future you imagined, the moments you prayed for, the plans you thought were written for you. But Allah removes every attachment that would make you question your worth when He elevates your life. The people who left were not taken from you. They were taken for you. Allah saw conversations you never heard. Allah saw intentions you never knew. Allah saw jealousy you overlooked. Allah saw harm you were blind to. And Allah said, "Not this one, not for my servant, not for the heart I am healing." When Allah separates you, He is protecting your future self from the pain your present self cannot see. Sometimes Allah separates you because He wants to talk to you alone. He wants your attention, your heart, your tears, your sincerity. And when you are surrounded by noise of people, noise of expectations, noise of attachments, you cannot hear His whispers. So He pulls you away. He makes people stop checking on you. He makes conversations slow down. He makes old connections fade. He makes you sit with yourself until you finally hear Him. That silence you feel, that emptiness, that loneliness, is actually Allah clearing the space inside your heart for the people who are meant to stay, people who will honor your soul, people who will support your growth, people who will inspire your faith, people who will love you in a halal way, a sincere way, a patient way, a way that feels like a gift and not a test. The separation you're going through is not a setback. It is alignment. Allah is aligning your heart with the souls who match your future, not your past. You are growing. You are changing. You are becoming someone your old circle cannot recognize anymore. And that is a sign that Allah is doing something big with you. You are not being abandoned. You are being chosen. You are not being rejected. You are being redirected. You are not being isolated. You are being elevated, because Allah will never allow the wrong people to witness the version of you that He created with so much love, so much patience, and so much divine detail. Your separation is a sign that your blessing is close. Your loneliness is a sign that your real people are on their way. Your emptiness is a sign that Allah is clearing space for something greater. And one day soon, when you meet the people who were written for your destiny, you will whisper with tears in your heart, "Ya Allah, now I understand why you removed those who were never meant for me." Allah breaks only to prepare. Allah has never forgotten you, not for a second, not for a heartbeat, not for a breath. Even in the moments you felt unseen, you were seen. Even in the moments you felt unheard, your whispers were echoing through the heavens. Even in the moments you felt alone in your pain, Allah was standing right beside you, holding your heart when you were too tired to hold it yourself. The golden truth of your life is this: Allah loves you more quietly and more constantly than anyone ever could. Every tear you hid, He caught it. Every fear you swallowed, He knew it. Every dua you whispered in the dark, He wrote it down. Every time you said, "Ya Allah, help me," He answered you in a way your heart didn't recognize yet. You thought He was silent, but He was speaking to your destiny in ways your ears couldn't hear. You thought He was delaying you, but He was arranging things you weren't ready to receive. You thought He was testing you, but He was strengthening you for blessings that require a wiser, calmer, deeper version of you. You kept thinking, "Why is Allah so quiet with me?" But silence does not mean absence. Silence often means protection. Sometimes Allah protects you by not giving you what you begged for, because He knows you're asking for something too small for the heart. He is building inside you. Sometimes Allah protects you by closing a door so loudly that it breaks your heart, because behind it was a story that would have destroyed you. Sometimes Allah protects you by removing a person you were ready to fight for, because their presence was poisoning your soul in ways you didn't notice. Sometimes Allah protects you by stopping everything around you so He can finally take your hand and guide you in the direction you were meant to walk. You see, when Allah loves a believer, He rearranges their life in a way that feels confusing at first, but makes perfect sense in the end. He breaks the heart that was attached to the wrong things. He removes the people who cannot stay for your rising. He softens your spirit so you learn how to trust Him more than you trust your plans. And through all of this, through every break, every tear, every delay, every empty night, Allah is whispering to your soul, "I am here. I have always been here. I never left you. I never ignored you. I never let you carry anything alone. My dear heart, you think you are forgotten because life feels heavy. But Allah gives the heaviest battles to the hearts He wants closest to Him. You think you are behind because you do not see progress, but Allah hides your growth until the moment it blooms. You think you are alone because people walked away, but Allah removed them so you could finally walk toward Him. Nothing was lost. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was ignored. Nothing was unseen. Your pain was written with the same pen Allah used to write your blessings. Your tears watered the soil for the future you will soon walk into. Your struggles shaped you into someone who can carry a destiny that was too heavy for the old version of you. And one day, when Allah finally reveals the blessing He has been preparing, your eyes will fill with tears and you will say, "Ya Allah, now I understand. You never forgot me. You were saving me." Because the greatest honor Allah gives a believer is not a blessing, it's the journey of becoming the person who deserves that blessing. And that journey, the one you thought was breaking you, was actually Allah holding you so gently, so closely, so lovingly that you didn't even notice. He was shaping your entire life into something far more beautiful than what you prayed for. Your story is not over. Your heart is not abandoned. Your future is not empty. Allah is still writing. Allah is still moving. Allah is still preparing, and what is coming for you will make every tear make sense. My dear brother, my dear sister, if you reached the end of this message, then please understand something with your whole heart. This wasn't just a video you watched. This was a conversation between your soul and the one who created it. Every part of your journey, the breaking, the silence, the loneliness, the confusion, the delays, the tears you hid, the nights you wiped your eyes so no one could see. It was never meaningless. Allah was shaping you. Every pain you survived was Allah transferring you from who you were to who you're meant to become. You may not see it now, but the version of you that exists today is not the same person who once thought they wouldn't make it. You grew, you softened, you learned, you let go, you healed parts of yourself you didn't even know were broken. And the most beautiful part? Allah never left you for a single second. He was with you in every silent heartbreak. He was with you in every unanswered prayer. He was with you when you smiled in front of people but cried alone at night. He was with you when no one noticed your struggle, but He counted every tear. My dear heart, the story Allah is writing for you did not stop at your pain. It begins with your pain, because Allah does not break a believer except to raise them higher than they ever imagined. You may feel small today, you may feel tired, you may feel alone, but a time will come when you will look back and say, with tears in your eyes, if Allah didn't put me through that, I would have never found this. So walk into your next chapter with trust, with softness, with patience, with faith. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not invisible. You are not unlucky. You are not alone. You are being written, line by line, moment by moment, prayer by prayer, into a story that will make sense. The day Allah reveals the blessing He has been saving for you, and until that day comes, keep your heart close to Him, keep your hope alive, keep your faith steady, keep whispering, Ya Allah, I trust your plan, even when I don't understand your timing, because your blessing is not just coming, it's already on its way. And when it arrives, you will finally understand why Allah had to break you first, before He blessed you forever. Allah hasn't forgotten you. He is preparing you, and what He prepares is always worth the wait.